I'm Jen Newton, the registered dietitian at the Skylights Wellness Center. Today we're back for another cooking video, and today we're going to be making salad dressings at home. I think this is an important thing for us to just be aware of, just to know how easy it is that we can make salad dressings at home. When we buy salad dressings in the store, oftentimes they're really high in salt. They can be really high in added sugars as well. And by making them at home with a few quick, simple ingredients, we can have less sodium, have much fewer ingredients. So you see some ingredients here in front of you. We're going to use these to actually make two separate salad dressings today. We're going to start with a red wine vinaigrette, and then we're also going to be making a creamy vinaigrette today as well. And we are going to be using a jar to mix our salad dressings in. So convenient that we can mix them and store them in the refrigerator in the same container. Vinaigrettes are pretty basic. They're usually a ratio of oil to vinegar and then seasoning added to it. Generally that starting ratio is 3:1 with 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar, and then we can add all sorts of seasonings to it based on our tastes and preferences, or based on what based on what we are having with that particular meal. So let's get started with doing our red wine vinaigrette. So we have our ingredients for our red wine vinaigrette set out so we can put it together and get it ready to eat. We're going to start with our olive oil, and we're going to use a half a cup of olive oil. If you have canola oil at home, you can use that in its place. It's entirely up to you. You do want to make sure that whatever oil you're using, it doesn't have a terribly strong flavor to it, so that it doesn't overpower the rest of the ingredients. All right, so we've got half a cup of olive oil. We're going to add a fourth of a cup of red wine vinaigrette. Red wine vinegar rather, we're making the red wine vinaigrette. Then we are going to be adding in a little bit of honey, about a tablespoon, and there's a little trick if you're not aware that you can spray the tablespoon, or if you're measuring a larger amount, the cup with a little bit of cooking spray, and it will allow that honey to just come out a little bit easier from the measuring tool. So we're using a tablespoon of honey, and as you can see, the honey is just falling out of there. Don't even need to scrape it. And then we are going to be using another tablespoon of Dijon mustard. This one we may need to get a little bit of help to come out of there. All right. And now we are going to add some seasoning. I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of dried thyme. And you can adjust these seasonings based on your preferences. You can add a little garlic powder to this if you like. We're also doing half a teaspoon of dried oregano. And then I usually like to add just a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So I'll do like a pinch of salt and a smaller pinch of pepper, but enough that it's going to give a little bit of seasoning. So once we have all our ingredients together, we're just going to put our lid on the jar that we're using and give it a shake. And that's going to help to emulsify it or get the oil to mix in with the vinegar. And then we have the salad dressing ready to go. So there's our red wine vinaigrette. We are going to move on to do our creamy vinaigrette next. So we're ready to make our creamy vinaigrette now. I have my ingredients out, and again, I have a new clean jar that I'm going to be using to mix. If you don't have jars available, you can also use a bowl and a whisk, and to whisk everything together, or put it through a food processor, and that's a good way of emulsifying the oil and vinegar together as well. So here we're also using our base of olive oil. This time we're using 1/3 of a cup. We're adding that to our jar. And again, you can use any mild flavor oil that you wish. If you're using something that's a stronger flavor, you may have to adjust some of the other ingredients just to accommodate that flavor. We have a white wine vinegar that we are adding to this as well. So we're using 3 tablespoons of that. And again, each vinegar has a slightly different flavor, so they're not necessarily interchangeable, but in some recipes it's worth just experimenting a little bit. Instead of using white wine vinegar, we may use balsamic vinegar just to add a little bit of a different flavor. So for our creaminess, we're going to be using sour cream with this. It's what I had available in the kitchen. You can also use a plain yogurt or even using a mayonnaise, and I always prefer using a low-fat variety just to help reduce the amount of saturated fat that we're taking in. So again, about 3 tablespoons of this. And then we're going to add a little bit of Dijon mustard to it, about a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. We are also adding in a little bit of salt and pepper, but we also I diced a shallot, so we're going to be adding that shallot. So the shallot is really kind of this, I like to call it kind of a mix between an onion and garlic. It's not extremely strong, but it adds a little bit of a nice flavor to it. And again, a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. I appreciate a little pepper, but probably not as much as some. So we'll just add a little bit in there. We'll put our lid back on our jar, and we'll give it a shake to blend our ingredients together, and there we have our creamy vinaigrette. So in less than 10 minutes, we've made 2 different salad dressings that we can use. So just showing how quick and easy that this can be, and they're very basic ingredients in each of them. With both of the vinaigrettes, we have our red wine vinaigrette and our creamy vinaigrette. These will separate as they sit there, but just like with every salad dressing that you're likely to use, just give it a quick shake. As you can see, there's plenty here to make more than one salad for the family or for yourself. So we can keep these in a sealed jar in the refrigerator for up to a week. Also feel free to experiment by using these as marinades or even as dressings for pasta salads. So I hope you enjoy these. I would love to hear some feedback on how you've personalized them for you, and I encourage you to follow us on Facebook for more resources and recipes.